Welcome everyone once again to Outdoor Analytics, bringing the science behind the hunt. My name is Adam Kilgore. Today we're doing a bow review on the 2018 Bowtech Realm X. Now before we get into the bow review itself, there's a couple things I want to cover. One is that, like most of the bow reviews I do, I try to get some pretty in-depth analysis on these bows, and because of that it usually takes a couple different videos. So if you get to the end of this one and it doesn't seem finished, it's probably because there's a second part coming out shortly. If you do like these videos and how I conduct them, please watch my other ones on the 2018 bows and my other reviews and see what you can learn from those. And if there's any constructive criticisms, please leave that below in the comments. I always try to take those questions and comments and address them and roll them into my next bow reviews or other gear reviews to be better at it. The other thing I want to cover is that this bow review is specifically on the Realm X, but the same things that I'm saying to this can be applied to its shorter brother, the regular Realm, with the only exceptions being the brace height. So on this is 6.5 inches. On the regular Realm, it's a very generous 7 1/8 inch brace height. The axle to axle is obviously a little different. The Realm is 31, I believe, right around 31. This is just a shade over 33 inches axle to axle, and the speed is different. This bow is 5 feet per second faster in both the performance and the comfort settings. So with those comments being said, let's dive into the 2018 Realm X. So to start off this review, last year Bowtech made quite the splash with the Rain series of bows. Those were in both the Rain 6 and the Rain 7. But other than that, they were a very similar bow, a very skeletonized reptilian flowing riser, a very good shooting bow, a very quiet bow, a very fast bow, and that bow won all kinds of awards throughout the industry. Both the Rain 6 and the Rain 7, I shot them both very well. They, particularly on comfort, they were a dream to draw, a lot of valley, very hunter-friendly bows that took award after award after award. So this year, Bowtech went back to the drawing board, as all bow companies do, and tried to top what they just did last year. And that's where we get the Realm series of bows, the Realm and the Realm X. Now, there are several changes with this year's bow. But I guess the big thing to start out with is the cams are the same. So the draw on the Realm and the draw on the Rain are very similar because they're using the same cams. Same flip disc technology to make it performance or comfort. They changed the brace heights a little bit. The Realm X is in between the Realm or the Rain 6 and 7, and the Realm is a greater brace height than either of the last year's offerings. But overall, the draw is very similar. So that is a good starting point. If you enjoyed the draw of the Rain series of bows, you are going to enjoy the draw on the Realm series of bows. If you did not like the draw on the Rain series of bows, you then probably will not enjoy the draw on the Realm series of bows. Same cams. To get into the differences. So first thing you notice when you see the Realm series of bows is that two things. One, the riser has a lot less reflex in it than last year's series of bows. So it's more of a straight up and down riser. On both the both the Realm and the Realm X, it has this more vertical riser that is kind of in line with the way target bows are built, that gives you more, in theory, accuracy. The second thing you notice is this year, Bowtech went to a very thick limb system, a very wide limb system on the Realm series. And as with last year, they brought the limb making process in-house. And since they've done that, I have not heard of or seen one issue with the Bowtech limbs. These limbs are tough. They flat out work. They are stable, and I really like the performance I'm getting out of these limbs. The limb pockets. The limb pockets on the Realm have been talked about quite a bit for this reason. They are made out of a polymer material, so they are a non-metal limb pocket. This has been discussed on various forums throughout the hunting industry. And you know, some people prefer that, or some people dislike polymer. You know, I have not seen any issues with it. I can't imagine there are going to be any issues whatsoever with this, but it is something to note that in the 2018, the Realm series of pockets are a polymer material and not metal. Besides those two differences, the riser is bridged in the 2018 models, meaning they have additional split out materials, almost pillars if you will, that go into the limb pockets. This in theory creates a more stable platform, aiding accuracy, and it just gives you a better grip, gives the riser and limbs a better connection, a better grip to function as a system. I do think that it works as intended. I do think it's a very stiff riser, and it works as it should. But to note, there is more vibration in both the Realm and the Realm X than there were in the Rain. I've shot several different versions of each bows, and the Realm series always has a slight buzz where the Rain have very, very little, almost none. Now, what's that mean? Well, it means that this is not as dead in the hand as the Tri-X by any means, and it is about the same level of vibration as I'd say the Hoyt Hyperforce. Well, the difference being on this particular bow, whereas I feel on the Hoyt Hyperforce that vibration causes some additional noise, this bow remains very quiet. It is not as quiet as the Tri-X bow, but it is a very, very quiet bow. I'd say it's one step down and probably second quietest bow that I've shot so far out of all the 2018 offerings. So the vibration is there, but in this particular bow and in the regular Realm, it doesn't seem to translate into noise. Just be aware that when you shoot it, there is going to be a little more buzz in the hand than in the Rain series. With a good stabilizer, when I have my stabilizer on this in a sight and decked out, it minimizes it quite a bit. And that's one thing to note across all bows in the industry. You know, once you get a stabilizer on there, quiver, a sight, rest, and are shooting it, almost all bows in the industry will be very, very vibration free. There'll be some more than others, but it's minimal across the board. So that is something to note. There's a little bit more vibration than the Rain, but not much. As far as draw cycle goes, the draw cycle on this bow, again, it comes in both the flip discs. If you're not familiar with it, it has a module here that flips, and it can either be in a performance mode, which gives you that full 345 feet per second IBO, or in a comfort mode, which gets you about 335-ish feet per second. I'll get into that a little bit more when I talk speeds. But it's up to you on how you prefer that to shoot the bow. I personally prefer it in comfort, the same as in the Rain. I do not like stiff drawing bows with shallow valleys, and that's what this bow is on performance. There's still a valley there for sure when you draw this bow in performance, but that valley is short. How short? Well, I was trying to relate this to another bow that I've shot in the past that compares well, and the Nitrum Turbo from Hoyt, it seems to be very much on par with that bow. So the draw starts out stiffer on performance, ends, I won't say a huge hump by any means, but there is just a tiny little bit of a hump there on performance, and then it comes to a fairly shallow valley. On comfort, the bow is a completely different animal. It is a very smooth drawing, and most bows are smooth, but it's a very linear draw, so it doesn't stack anywhere in that draw. It doesn't feel like the transitioning into the valley doesn't have a hump, and it has a very large valley. It is not an elite valley. It is not a giant PSE 90% let-off valley, but it is more than adequate. It's rated at 80%. To me, it personally feels closer to like 82, 83% valley, but very easy to hold back and very smooth to draw. While I'm talking about the flip disc performance and comfort, I wanted to bring this point up too, because I always thought, why would I ever want to shoot this bow in performance? It just isn't the draw cycle I want, only giving up 8 to 10 feet per second. It just isn't there, and fight a shorter valley. A buddy of mine who who has shoulder issues, and he shoots about 50 to 55 pounds a draw. Recently we were talking, and he brought up a very good point. He said, at my draw weight, so at 50 to 55 pounds, a lot of those negative features that you feel are fighting in performance setting go away. So a shorter valley, it's still shorter at 50 to 55% than it would be on comfort, but because you're drawing less weight, it doesn't feel as bad because you're holding less weight overall. And that hump at the end, although it probably on paper, on graphs, doesn't smooth itself out at all because you're still pulling the same draw cycle, it doesn't translate. You don't feel that draw, that hump at all, and you're not fighting anything because you're pulling less weight. So that's a very good aspect, a very good thing. That a lot of what I'm talking about here is from 65 to 70 pounds type draws, what I usually experience and test bows at, or maybe even a little over as a 70 pound bow maxed out. But when you're talking a 50 or 55 pound bow, a lot of the aspects, negative aspects of draw cycle and hold that people will talk about go away, and you can concentrate more on the speed overall and the post shot, because it'll still be, you know, what you feel at 70 is probably what you'll feel at 50. If anything, it'll be less, the vibration will be less because you're still using a hunting weight, a heavier weight arrow, which will still get more vibration. But regardless, it really sunk in that, hey, you know, I'm not the only one shooting the bow. My specs aren't the only one shooting this bow, and the flip disc on a performance really gives you that edge if you shoot lower weight because of either an injury or that's just what you pull or prefer to pull. It just gives you that that choice to step up and still have some pretty good performance at a 50 to 55 pound draw. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to kind of end off this part of the review here. We'll get into some more details on things like grip and material and colors in just a minute. So stay tuned in part 2. Thanks.